Hello, my name's Caleb and this is Chroma, and today I'm going to talk to you about color theory. So the most basic thing about color theory is knowing the color wheel. The color wheel has primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. Primaries are red, yellow, blue, secondaries are green, orange, violet, and tertiary colors are the combination of one primary and one secondary color to make colors like blue, green, red, violet, orange, yellow, things like that. So with each color on the color wheel, you have hue. Hue is the color. Whenever you say like, what color is that? You can easily replace the word color with the word hue. Hue is a specific point on the color wheel and what describes it. Saturation is the intensity of the hues. So if you have a really bright color, it has a high saturation. Or if you have a really dull color, it has a really low saturation. And then you have the word chroma, which is how I came up with the name for my website. Chroma is the purity of the color. So if you have a color that is high in chroma, it's really vivid. If you have a color that has a really low chroma, it's really dull. And then grayscale has no chroma. And then you have value. Value is describing the brightness and darkness of a color. A bright color is called a tint and a dark color is called a shade. Tints are made based on how much white you add, and shades are made based on how much black you add. And with all of this, you can start making color palettes and color schemes for yourself. So one easy way to do it is to take two complementary colors of one another, which are two colors opposite of one another on the color wheel, and make a color palette with those. The second way to make a color palette is analogous colors. Analogous colors are colors that are next to one another on the color wheel. So if you take, let's say, blue, green, and green, and then you come up with different tints and shades of those colors, you can create a color palette that way. A third way to make a color palette is a triad. A triad is whenever you take a triangle and place it on the color wheel, and you choose your colors based on where the points meet near the color wheel. Similar to a triad and similar to complementary is a split complementary color palette. With both split complementary and triad, don't use all three colors equally. Choose one portion of the triangle, and on the split complementary it works best if you pick the point that's furthest away from the other two colors and use those two more dominantly, and allow the other two colors to kind of be sidekicks to the one color that you chose to use more dominantly. Another way similar to the triad is the TETRADIC, and that is just placing a rectangle on a color wheel and you pick colors based on the points of that. You get a wider range of colors this way. You still want to push tints and shades on this just like you would a triad to give variance in where you use the colors. Think about which ones are warm and cool and how you want to use them within your piece. Another way to make it. Colors that have a lot of contrast are normally complementary colors, colors that have different values, different chromas, different saturations on opposite sides of one another. So you can have a really, really bright red, like a light pink, and then a really, really dark red, like a burgundy color. They contrast. You can have a blue and an orange. They contrast. The reason I think color theory is so important is because ultimately the colors play a big role in your illustrations and graphic design work, anything else you might make. It's important. If you're working with color, it's good to know what colors work well together, how to use colors, and how to make colors work well together. And you can do that by understanding color theory. Thank you for watching. Bye.